Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for checking out another brand new episode. I apologize, it's been a while, and going forward it might be a little sporadic. I've been a lot of life going on, but I plan to keep on going. I'm trying to just find the balance and make sure it's all right between moving and getting a new home and all this stuff. But appreciate you checking in with me. And I got another fresh new episode for you today featuring my friend Taylor Steele of Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers. The Love Preachers have a brand new album titled High Feeling, now available wherever you get your digital music at. And you're going to hear all about it on today's episode. You can catch Taylor here in town this week on Wednesday the 7th, May 7th at Venice Cafe with Nick Gusman. And on May 8th, Thursday night at Broadway Oyster Bar, full band with none other than Emily Wallace. So get over there to Broadway Oyster Bar Thursday night and see the band and Emily. Have a great time. You can find all the rest of the information on their socials. But yeah, check out the record and enjoy today's episode. We do a couple live acoustic ones, and that was a lot of fun, and hope you dig it. If you need anything from me, feel free to reach out, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com, rockpaperpodcast.com, any of the socials. I would love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with Taylor Steele.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey everybody, this is Taylor Steele from the Love Preachers, and we are on Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with returning guest Taylor Steele. Welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, yeah, great to see you. It's been way too long. We haven't got to hang out in quite a while. I just said, I think you appeared on the show solo in 2019. And
Yeah, it was in
then,
like St. Charles or something.
Yeah.
We played like the little mini town in St. Charles.
What's that?
With the band.
Newtown, yeah.
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 That town freaked me out. I got tripped out after that.
Right, yeah. It's
It reminded me of like Truman Show.
for sure. Yeah, it's a...
But yeah, it's been too long, man. I'm excited to be back. We've done so much since then.
Yeah, and then I think we did that Songwriter show in 2019 also, out at Naked Vine together. So we've done some stuff, but it's been a while since we actually got to hang, so I'm glad that we're finally getting to do this, and we got a brand new record to talk about.
Yeah.
And all this stuff, so.
The main juicy stuff to dish about for sure is the album. But yeah, I'm glad how easy this was to set up, and then it all worked out so smoothly.
Yeah.
And it's fun coming to this new Fat Buddhist Productions is where we're at.
Yeah,
Never
shout
been
out
here
to
before.
Fat Buddha for letting us hang out today and record. They've always been very supportive, and so I'm glad to have them as friends for sure. They've been helping out a lot.
Nice.
But you, let's get right into the record though. Like I think it'd be a good kind of weave it in and out of this interview. But we just released the second full-length album from Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers.
Yeah, full original music. And this second one was recorded differently, but like we were just talking about earlier, we did those 2 like videos of me playing, asking about like I love that was your first response, was being like, oh man, like kind of sounds similar enough to the album, like the way just you listening to it, picking out that like when we record, we like to be like a live band, like capture that sound. And that's, I think, just the style of me as a musician and music I like that's what I've always wanted. So I'm happy that this album, I think, captures that even more than the first one. And we did it more guerrilla style than the first one. Like our 2019 record is our first one. It's all my original music. Our founding guitar player, Jim Stewart's on that one, and he's on this one too. But he just left the band and retired and moved back to Vermont. So we've been playing shows without him. But so that's another just special thing about this record, is it's kind of encapsulates a chapter. You know, each record has, you know, music, like lyrically, musically, what I've written about, but specifically with us growing as a band, like Jim being on this record and having all of his guitar stuff on there is really special.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts about music and about, recording especially, not that he's not with us, but like I've had friends pass that have done the show, and I'm so glad that I have their voices recorded on the show, whether, it's that, but I mean, like having his guitar playing on there and stuff, like it's just cool to have it. Like,
well, I'm glad you said that though, because I was even going to bring up at one point, like the last podcast of yours I listened to randomly, just thinking about like looking up. I mean, you have so many too, but I don't know if you shared it. I think you did. You shared it. It was Dana's. Yeah. And it's still even just hard to talk about, you know, but I wanted to talk about that with you because I listened to that, like forgetting that had been recorded. And I was at home, like washing dishes and out in the garden and listened to it. And it just helped me so much that day. Like, because he was a good buddy of mine, and, but him mentioning me and that, and like hearing him talk about Effingham and our crew where I live, like he was over with us and a part of like Post Music Works and our family, and hearing him talk about that specifically was really like healing for me that day and cool. So I don't know, just all those connections. And I know music, recorded stuff is special in that way, just capturing a moment in time, you know. But yeah, I love that, having that, just like I said, trying to capture that moment, and it's forever documented on this record now. But I appreciate you saying that, because that one with Dana I was particularly proud of. Me too, man. I think it made me happy thinking of all the other people listening to it and getting the same thing out of it that I did, and how it could be. It was, initially even like proud of myself that I listened to it, like press play. I'm like, put yourself through this right now, like for the best reasons, like for love, for connecting, for personal healing. And I know that's what music is and what I want to share, what I want to do. Like, as universal, like soldier in life, like with the meaning of all this shit is. Shout out to Dana Michael Anderson. If you don't know, be sure to pull up his music on your favorite streamer of choice and hit play and just get lost in the tunes, because he's got a bunch of really good ones. And actually, I wanted to mention too, because he was a connection for me to St. Louis, but like I grew up in Collinsville and he grew up in Granite, and I met him through friends Aaron O'Toole and Dale Hannenbarger in Greenville when I was in high school there. And they had taken me to Stagger, and just he was hosting the open mic, and they were buddies with him, like, introduced to me. And I was still underage and under 21 and playing the open mic. And that's how my friendship with him started. But he was always like a mentor, but specifically like our songwriting style. Like he saw something in me, and then he was always my favorite person to sing with, just the sound and like what we were doing. Like I felt this mutual appreciation, and I hadn't really gotten that from that many people older that I looked up to at the time, I guess. I don't know. But I had gone with him to the Gaslight, he had reached out, like trying to, just ideas he had, like wanting to do more of a community, like workshop stuff, like at the Gaslight. And I remember him trying to like get a group of people together, and I ended up being like the only person like that it worked out. And I like drove all the way, drove to St. Louis from Effingham and just met with him and his brother, and like sat and talked about ideas and stuff. And after that, it was the thought of like, you took the song Maybelline, the Chuck Berry song. And that was kind of like the prompt, like goal, was he had changed that. I don't know if they got the rights to some Chuck Berry, to be able to record it. They might have released it, but I've been trying to track it down now and can't find it yet. But it's me singing with Dana on Maybelline, kind of the way he did it, slower and folkier and cool, And now, like, that's something now that I want to do, like maybe even release our own single as a band of it in that style.
What?
And keep that alive, because it's also just amazing.
Isn't JB working on like a record of his or something? Or
I'm not sure. I haven't been.
I think he's got like a bunch of stuff recorded that just need to polish up, but.
Yeah, well, and also I haven't yet. Now I'm talking about it on the podcast. I've been meaning to reach out to him to see if he just has that to be able to hear it. Like, I have it in my Dropbox still from when Dana sent it to me, like just him playing it with him and his guitar. And my buddy might even have, because we had tracked it separately and sent it. But I just remember that being like so beautiful, like just the way it was redone, and just. I guess an example of the way both of him and I's styles specifically matched up really well.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Sure.
But I, still have that and want to be able to recreate it and play it at the show, or like, that's kind of what I feel like I can use as a tool now to continue to heal and,
To Dana.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's cool though that music brought you two together, and that we have that to share. I mean, like, and hopefully those memories and these songs and
and like getting to share that same experience with other musicians
Sure.
and other people they knew now too. And that's kind of what I've noticed myself, like after getting out of a hole of kind of not doing anything, not feeling motivated, being depressed or whatever, just not feeling like I'm not doing enough, or, just putting things into action. And in a way, like connecting with Emily Wallace and Nick Gusman as examples of remembering like, that these people are reaching out to me and like have this mutual appreciation too. And that we can also connect on this other thing and like just find healing that may be an undertone. We're not maybe not even talking about it, or don't have to talk about it kind of thing. And
Sure.
that's been helping me like just be inspired and to perform again and just to play for people again and have the energy to like get out and organize stuff and do stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little piece of it, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find like when you're in those moments, can you be creative, or or to write those songs, like put those feelings into songs, or do you reflect on it later on afterwards, or that's a good question. Do you tap into any of that emotion?
I'd say yes and no. Like, it depends on the moment.
Sure.
But I would say yes, because like our first record is all my songs I've written. I've always kind of written out of like personal, deep like feelings, and it's my own therapy. I'm doing it for me. And it's always like not sitting down intentionally trying to write. It's just it happens. And all these new songs on the record are like that too, but written in a different way, out of a different stage in life, different, out like through grief. I think grief is the biggest theme in this record, right. Because I'd lost my grandpa to COVID in 2020, and my grandma, and then like a couple other members of that same family, kind of all in 2 years. And that did like flip me upside down for a while. I'm still like not, I'm coming out of maybe being normal again after all that. And then Dana too, like just to talk in a raw way, like that was kind of near the tail end of that in my experience, that it brought up all that grief again in a different way.
Sure.
But I felt like I'd learned But this album, through all that grief and everything, a big theme that inspires me, and the way these songs help me every time I sing them, and to relive deep stuff when you're performing it every time. Like, I enjoy it with these songs because it's the first time I've written out of like finding spiritual healing, and then having moments of awareness and ways to handle things, or ways to view things with some light in it. That these songs were inspiring in that way. Like, the songs themselves, like the content of the songs heal me every time, but they continue to. Like, just for me, and that's always been kind of the purpose of writing for me. But these songs I'm proud of because anyone else who shared that same experience, going through what I've gone through, haven't thought about a lot. Like, there's so many other people that are going through the same thing around the same time, or
yeah,
any you know what I mean.
Sure.
That I'm embracing more, that I'm also here as like a light worker or viewing myself as more like a healer, having that awareness, but that like, no, I have something that I can contribute to bringing joy to someone else through these songs.
Yeah. Yeah, I do find,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I find a lot of that, like, where I listen to music, ton of music for all sorts of different feelings, but it is a pretty powerful thing when you hear a song and it tells a story and you're like, man, like, I've been there. I've been in that moment, and
yeah,
whatever, when you really can connect to that artist and stuff. And
yeah, and the way I write, like, is kind of like a channeling thing. Like, I'm just now, the past year, I've started to think of it that way.
Yeah.
It's always been that way for me, but being able to wrap my head around it in a different perspective has been cool to like think of it like I can use it as a tool. But it's always just kind of happened naturally to where the song, like the lyrics and everything, I'm happy that they're relatable enough still, for people to take something, take something meaningful or healing out of too.
Yeah. Well, we got the record is called High Feeling.
Yeah.
Released in October of 2014.
Like on my birthday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
October last year. Yeah.
And 12 tracks, original music. And you said Garrett recorded most of this in his house?
Everything but like 4 songs. He did remix them. So yeah, on this record, we did have like the last couple of years. I don't remember what year we put them out, but we had 3, 4 singles that we'd already released from County Q Studio in Nashville, that we'd gone back a second time after our first record and did 4 songs. Mm-hmm. But we put those 4 on the new record to chunk it up, or make it bulkier, but mainly like to remix them because when we recorded in Nashville, it was still a live band way of recording for that studio that I thought was cool. They could accommodate that. But in a way, like, I still wanted more of a natural, like, kind of the Basement Tapes, the band kind of vibe to it, live sounding, So we even kind of remixed those and brought out like Catherine Marks's piano and organ, and Michael Johnson's steel guitar and like stuff like that. Sorry. I don't know if I should say shit or not.
You can say whatever. It's on the internet.
Bringing out stuff that we almost didn't hear the first time around, and we were excited about. So yeah, like at first I was even like, well, is it lame to re-release the same songs on a full record? But like, they just sound so different. There's so many little nuggets that are brought out in them. And I think those songs, like the meaning in those songs, makes sense with the whole theme of the record. So yeah, this record is one that I think, the placement of the songs, the story it tells, like there's something tangible there that I think is cool, like a little more artistic maybe.
Yeah. Well, you can now find it wherever you get your digital music at, but we wanted to highlight a couple of tracks, and I guess you want to start with track 1, Never Apart.
Yeah, Never Apart.
Yeah. What do you, anything you want to add around this particular one?
Yeah. I love this song, man. It's like, One of the first songs I wrote was Jeremiah, the first song on our first album, and it parallels to me in the style. Like it's kind of old Appalachian, rootsy, bluesy style to it. But this is the guitar part, like the intro and part I play on guitar. I had written that years ago, like when I was a kid, like 11, 12 or something, like messing around on guitar. And it's one of those little things on guitar that I'd made the chord structure and would play it all the time, but never wrote a song with it. And I'd like changed one thing, and like the song came out after my grandpa had passed. So all the lyrics are very like kind of, you know, spiritual undertones and some of those first awarenesses, like thinking of things in a new way through grieving. So yeah, I really like the message of this one.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Never Apart. seems to be a common theme right now on the show. But I lost my mom in 19.
Yeah.
The tail end of 19, December 3rd.
I remember that time too with you.
And it was like, so, I definitely know what you're talking about, dealing with grief and, like you're talking about losing your loved ones and stuff, your grandfather.
Yeah.
And
I know it's such a human experience.
For sure it's.
But when it's kind of the first time in life that you're experiencing it in a heavy, real way personally, it exists and everyone shares that feeling. But it's a wild thing. Like everyone is going to experience something different. And I felt thankful that Jim, our guitar player, had gifted me sessions, Reiki healing sessions in Edwardsville. And I still go now to this day. But that I attribute going to see her, like starting that journey, like not knowing what I was getting into, that ended up being like amazing grief counseling, to say it like that, like grief counseling or something, grief therapy for me. I still, I've grown so much, but yeah, how visceral and real and lonely all that feeling can be. I probably wouldn't have gotten any help or sought out any help for that on my own either. Like that gift is one of the best gifts I've been given for that reason. Yeah. Because it kind of set me on like caring more about my own mental state and like just being open more and helping me understand the gifts I already have too. But yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to be more present, I think.
Yeah, it's been hard for me to not like keep living in the past and like hold on to things and not be like I haven't been able to let go as much as I think I'm able to. I mean, I'm more trying to focus on like life, living now. Like, the show's still very important to me. I love doing it, but at the same time, like there's been more gaps. I haven't been as consistent with releasing episodes and things, and you've always done a bunch though.
Yeah,
right?
this is May will be 11 years. I've been doing the show, so it's like there's a lot of back catalog, and there was time where I was like posting 3 a week or something, for a long time. And then, but now it's like, I've just been trying to put more emphasis on my own personal life, trying to just, focus on my stuff. And,
what's, what feels right, and probably some ebb and flow to it.
But there was a lot of, I feel like for me, I like dodged a lot of it. Like I felt if I kept myself busy, I wouldn't acknowledge, I wouldn't, address it, kind of thing. Like if I could keep myself distracted long enough to, and it's like to outrun it, kind of feeling.
I couldn't do that. I was kind of doing the opposite in a weird way, to where I would like be facing it and kind of rip the Band-Aid off or throw it all. But I didn't want to live in that either, and wallow in it. Yeah. Like one of the weird lessons, like in perspective, thoughts and perspective is, some of the hardest thing has been realizing that, like, the people that I'm missing on the other side, whatever there is on the other side, like they wouldn't want me to be dwelling and feeling like caught up and feeling the same way. But, not to say that like, no, I should be feeling differently or to pressure myself into anything, but that's like the healing light that when there's like a mental shift that allows you to like breathe and there's like a weight lifted off of you just in the spiritual mental realm, like, that's been cool stuff. And having like knowing stuff and then being able to actually feel it and live it are two different things. But that's where music, I think, the new songs and just getting out of like a kind of a bubble or a hole, like I guess lived in it enough to where I wasn't motivated or had anxiety, where I wasn't like booking and doing like the back end stuff that I needed to be doing. But then I was just putting myself down because I wasn't doing it. Like caught in this kind of cycle to where now I'm like thankful that I have awareness that I am aware of what was going on or like can change or know what I want. I've felt myself coming out of it and like opportunity and like happiness more lately, And I think I needed that time to be where I'm at. Like,
Right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. You got a nice support system of the band and everything else to help,
Yeah.
lift you up when you need it.
Recording through a lot of that time was nice, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did do we did a couple live here, which I like we mentioned earlier, but this was a real treat for me. We've done this in the past as well. But I love the record, but for me, it's really fun to see kind of the origin, like where just you and a guitar, how these songs maybe started,
Yeah.
and
I wrote just about all of them just by myself on guitar starting out.
yeah. But you played a live take of "Don't Sell Out,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah, what we're talking about kind of leads into that story of that song too. Like that's a song that I think most of the lyrics are kind of talking to myself, but listing all these things that I could find happiness in, like how easy it can be to find joy, when you allow yourself to.
Don't sell out and don't sell yourself short. You're a keeper of the light. What have you been waiting for? Lose yourself in a rhythm. Try to come up with some words. The beating of your heart moves your fingertips in a word. Close your eyes, imagine something beautiful, embracing happiness doesn't have to be so difficult. A distant memory, a feeling that I've known before. How could I forget the way that you sang to me as a girl? Oh, don't sell out, don't sell yourself short. You're a keeper of the light. What have you been waiting for? Ooh. Life has a funny way of showing a good heart's meant to be broken. I'll take myself down to the river and wash myself till I am clean. Loneliness is just a feeling, empty spaces on the pattern of the ceiling. Why don't I feel good just to feel good? Was there ever really pain? Oh, don't sell out, don't sell yourself short. You're a keeper of the light. What have you been waiting for? Oh, don't sell out, don't sell yourself short. You're a keeper
But the "don't sell out, don't sell yourself short" line came from, I can't make this stuff up. I saw a psychic random. There's a little metaphysical shop in Effingham, and I popped in like to buy a crystal or something. And there happened to be a psychic there, and like the owner was like, "Hey, she's has an opening. Like if you want to go in the back room, like do a psychic reading." And that was a big takeaway out of that psychic reading, was her being like, mentioning my grandpa and like saying like, "Hey, this is what he's wanting you to know right now." And it was that specific line, like telling me to not sell myself, not sell myself out, but don't sell myself short. And also talking like whether it was him or her, like mentioning like to focus on my writing, that's my strong, like what'll carry me through. And, you know, that he'd be like a guide there, like helping me along with opportunity or pushing me or whatever, you know, just all wild to take in a moment, like whether it's real or not.
Sure.
But that was way too cool to not write a song about it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. I did a pod. A buddy Gabe was doing a show, and he had these two on, and they're kind of into the paranormal stuff. They ghost hunt and do all that. And
Sweet.
and his and I'm blanking on her name, but they she does readings and stuff, and she was like, even over Zoom, she was like saying stuff, and I get like not all of it applied, but there was some things she said that were like right on, and I was like, it is
I'm pretty skeptical, especially going into a lot of that stuff. I'm pretty skeptical, but open-minded. And whenever something is said that like that hits, it's like can't really deny that. Like
I was particularly
spot on.
I was particularly guarded, but like not to give much info or kind of thing. And so,
well, through Reiki, like who I see also is gifted in that way outside of just oh my gosh. Hold on a second. I'm struggling with it. No. Okay. I was like that the whole time. This will be edited out. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. Hold on a second. What were we talking about? Psychics and stuff. Jesus. She had initially said enough stuff that was like, you know, whether she explained it like she's getting a kind of feelings or knowing what to say through being in touch with spiritual guides, or like something's flowing that's like a feeling, or she's like saying something out loud that she doesn't know me or, you know, anything around it. But it weirded me out the first few sessions. I'm like, there's no way. And then I kind of gave in to like, well, this is insanely beautiful, because of the stuff she had said to me was so specific to breaking down what I was holding on to or whatever. That that's some of the proof to me, was like feeling that physical like change and like my body being lighter and like the, I don't know, like alchemy or something. But mainly like the advice was really good. Like, all right, like it, like a spiritual awakening moment kind of thing, where I've always been like agnostic, and, you know, I think it's good to be skeptical anyway, but it was the first time I'd kind of opened up to the ideas of something a little more great, you know, something greater. But
and got Grandpa help co-write a song.
Yeah, well, I do feel that way about it, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I started just thinking about that way I write, and that thinking of it like channeling. It could be that, you know, or me just, that's my space to get in touch with whatever my feelings are in the moment. Like if that's how it happens. I'm proud of being able to have that gift. It feels like it is a gift, or like something natural. It's not something that I've ever like worked at.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Like had to find a technique or specifically, you know, hone the skill of that. It's always felt really natural.
Yeah.
safekeeping. I could use it when I travel down that road. There's a lot of questions I've been asking. You're sure gonna make me lonesome when you go. There's a lot of things that I remember, trying to use these words to understand the shape I'm in. I get taken by a familiar smell of comfort. Will it fade away and leave me on my own again? I'm feeling that it won't be running away. I'll take that road that many have traveled, but I'm gonna have to do it my own way. One day I melted down that pistol, turned it into new two-page guitar string. They just hear that sound and let it take me over. Now when I take my shot, I listen to it ring. I'm feeling it won't be running away. I'll take that road that many have traveled, but I'm gonna have to do it my own way. Yes, I'm gonna have to do it my own way. Yes, I'm have to do my own way.
Well, you got some big shows coming up. A lot of opportunities to hear these songs live. Couple of these are solo, some with full band backing you. But we got May 7th. You'll be at Venice Cafe here in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And
Thanks to Nick Gusman.
Yeah. Nick's living room or something is what he's calling them, I think.
Yeah.
It's like having little songwriter sessions and stuff in there. And
yeah. I'm excited about doing that.
Yeah. And then on May 8th, you'll be at another one of my favorite spots, Broadway Oyster Bar in St. Louis.
Yeah, we are beyond excited for that.
With
we've been wanting to play there for a long time.
Incredibly talented Emily Wallace.
Yeah, shout out to Emily helping us set that show up, and we're looking forward to kind of planning out singing some songs together.
Yeah, that'll be a real treat.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
we could be a force together for sure, I think.
Yeah. May 17th is a Pickin on the Picnic pre-party out at Point Labaddie Brewery, and you'll be joining Hunter Peebles and the Moonlighters out there.
I still have not seen their band play yet, so I love that pairing of the two of us together. So
yeah,
I'm pumped about that, doing the pre-party. We were really honored, I think overall honored to be playing Pickin' on Picnic and getting to do this. So
yeah, Hunter and the guys are incredible live, a lot of fun, real good kind of classic country feel to everything they do, and yeah, it's going to be a cool night for sure.
Definitely thought it was a good pairing for both of us. So
and we got a solo gig coming up May 23rd at Stagger Inn.
Yeah,
and which is
going back home,
kind of historic place, right? That's like it's been around for a long time, and a lot of I've never actually been. I drove by.
You haven't been there?
No, I went and did a pod over that way, and I did drive by and saw it for the first time. But I've actually never been in the room, but I hear all kinds of stories from all my buddies that play over there. And
yeah, that place is special to me. I thrive on the old like Irish pub feel, like honky tonk Irish pub vibe. But yeah, like growing up in Collinsville, I've kind of been like all in bars across Metro East St. Louis, but Stagger was one that like my family's band didn't play at or anything. Like it was more like high school, and like met Dana there, and so I've played there once or twice, but it's been a long time. Yeah. I'm really excited to be there.
And then, like I said, we got a big one this summer, July 10 to 13, Lost Hill Lake. In St.Clair, Missouri, the Pickin' on the Picnic.
On.
There's a big festival out there. You got stacked bill of all your favorites.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm excited to play alongside so many other local kind of St. Louis area bands too, like meet new people, meet other artists.
Yeah.
We're like from far enough away, like if I'm not traveling over here, that's what I've enjoyed more lately is meeting other acts and connecting.
I think that's one of the coolest parts about any of those festivals, small or large or whatever it might be, is getting to meet people and getting to see players that you don't get to see because you're usually gigging when they're gigging and everything else. So it's hard to see a lot of the people, but like that once your set's over, you usually can run over to another stage and that kind of stuff. So that's always the fun part about those weekends.
Yeah, actually, with the Bob, like we're playing on Thursday at Broadway Oyster Bar, and I'm glad we are because other musicians will be out there, more potentially more musicians there to get to network or just to hang out and meet other people, because they won't be gigging.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Yeah. So mark your calendar, come out, catch a show. You can find more details by following along with Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers on your Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And I'll link everything up on the show notes. So, but yeah, get involved. And again, you can find all these songs streaming wherever you get your digital music at.
Yeah, we got it up on Bandcamp. That's kind of like the, anyone can kind of pay whatever they want for the album and download the digital recording. We don't have any CDs or vinyl yet. That's something I do want to do eventually, is do vinyl this time. We haven't started working on that yet, but I'm hoping to book some shows and like play more and like get, I don't know. I'm just coming back out.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been tucked away for a while, so I want to play and get some more kind of fan base
Could be
going
cool to do,
too,
like,
and get some vinyl eventually.
Could be cool to do like a deluxe, year anniversary edition or kind of thing, something like that.
Well, yeah, I thought about that. It wouldn't be bad to have it a little bit after initially releasing it, because I want to get people in love with it and then excited that we do the vinyl, and then to be able to have something good to sell. Like CDs just don't sell as well anymore too. So there's that angle to it. But I'm a lover of vinyl, and that would just be a huge goal, kind of milestone for me to have a record I'm proud of and love. Like the artwork itself, I think is perfect for a larger record. Like the artwork has like the band. It gives me a Dickie Betts vibe, honestly.
Sure.
It's got like a Southwest kind of burnt orange, cream colored like band that all the stuff like came from, has like meaning to it. It like came from one of my grandpa's cowboy hats I got from him. And then there's like a eagle pendant on the album cover that came from like a bolo tie I got from him that I wear at shows sometimes, But another thing I want to do with the vinyl eventually is a lot of feedback I've gotten a lot with singing and like enunciating, like people listening to it. I want them, like the lyrics are important to me enough. I want to have a lyric sheet or, kind of planning out the layout of the artwork, whether it's an insert or just on the back of the record. I want to list all like a handwritten, in my handwriting, and have the lyrics for every song that people can read while they listen to it.
Nice.
So,
what do you have a memory, like your first vinyl purchase or anything?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, some of my first experience with vinyl was in my grandpa's basement, like his music room basement, where I find ways to entertain myself and hang out. And he had a little record collection, like a old, like played just 78s, like an old wooden, kind of from the 30s or something, like bright, like mustard color mesh, like front to it. So I remember playing, I did find like whatever rock records he had. I remember putting on a Cheap Trick album, just what I found and played, but even like I got into vinyl, I'm obsessed with it from when I was like 12 or something. So my grandpa, like I was living in Collinsville still. My grandpa had taken me to vintage vinyl because Third Man Records had the rolling record, the truck there. And it was Pokey's, like one of his releases they had there, and like waited in line. But I remember him taking me to vintage vinyl and going in, and I'd been there, so many times after that. I was hooked. But I remember at least two of that time, that first time I was there, I bought Sloppy Seconds by Dr. Huck and the Medicine Show and a Yardbirds, like greatest hits or compilation, Yardbirds album. Yeah. I have a massive collection now over the years.
Yeah. I think I told you off mic, I'm moving this summer. We're building a new home. That's partly why I've been absent from the show too, and transitioning everything. But that's one I haven't touched yet. But I'm not looking forward.
Do you have a ton of vinyl?
I'm not looking forward to packing all that vinyl.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy stuff.
But
I still even just trying to alphabetize it. Like we have a huge, like big piece of furniture to like hold all of them, and I still, since we moved in, it's been like 2 years, and I still haven't alphabetized them or anything. There's no system, which ends up keeping me from listening to it because I don't know where, if I have a specific thing I want to listen to, I don't know where it's at. It's gonna take time to find it, and then I'm too lazy.
I did like on the record you mentioned driving around listening to Van Morrison.
Yeah, Loving Hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real thing.
Which,
it was around Lake Sarah and Effingham. Like that was from a moment of driving around listening to Van Morrison, and just kind of tied that moment into kind of every experience I've had out there at the lake there.
Yeah.
At the festivals.
Based on a true story then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
I like that line though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great, and I appreciated the shout out, and but yeah, he's one of my favorites, and kind of ties into what some of the classic records you're listening to. You said,
yeah, well, yeah, I've listened to Van Morrison so much. I could name all those like 60s, 70s folk rock, blues, Motown, all that stuff. But yeah, and like mentioning Van Morrison's name in a song lyric too, like that. It's kind of weird that I did it. Like normally I would never do that, like, or it would almost seem forced. Like it wasn't forced in that moment. It was very natural.
It was
and
back.
There are so many songs that I love that use people's, like Lucinda Williams as an example, like using Howlin' Wolf and Neil Young so nicely, where it is kind of visceral, like it puts you in exactly like the feeling or moment from what you know of listening to those artists. Or
yeah. I went to see Sean Cannon's Voodoo Players back, I guess it was around Thanksgiving or whatever it is. I think it's when they do the band.
Yeah, we were at the last Waltz show. Yeah, I was there.
And then they always get they do a Van Morrison with Lauren Lovelace join them again to do the Caravan. And
I was there for that. I liked his performance. We were up front by the stage.
Yeah.
And that night, that was I might be mixing two different shows up.
Yeah.
Shoot. No, we went to the Bob after that, I think. But I'm thinking of, I saw Sturgill and we went back to the Bob and they played the CCR Voodoo.
Okay, sure.
That was like the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
And
that's a great show too.
I wasn't even planning on going there after the show. And like my boyfriend and friend Ashley, they were just like, drove me over there, knew I would love it. And I was like, oh wait, this is awesome. Yeah, I love the voodoo stuff.
Yeah.
Saw the Neil Young one that Kyle Collins and JR were a part of playing on, and it's been cool just coming over the city more and hanging out more over here.
Yeah. Always a good time. A lot of great music. We got another one for you. This is another live take on a song you can catch on High Feeling, and this is a Good Friends Lament, and recorded live here at Fat Buddha. And any story around this one you want to tell us?
Well, mainly I would say musically, off this record, this one stands out to me because I wrote it way more stripped down. Like it changed the most, I think, from when I first wrote it versus how it turned out when we recorded it, and how we wrote it together more intentionally and trying out and experimenting like as a band, kind of as a 3-piece, because Jim had already moved back to Vermont at that point. So I'd written the song like 3-chord kind of old country song, and it turned into this like soul gospel country thing, like all the parts, the moving pieces. And yeah, I love that gospel. I think that's been a theme. Having the organ on there a lot too, and keys, adds to that feel. But it's exactly what I wanted it to be in the end, So
yeah. Well, you can, like I said, this is just you and a guitar, but you can get the full organ and everything else on the on the full version wherever you get your digital music at. But like I said, this is a real treat for me. I love just stripping it down to acoustic guitar and vocal, and
me too. I love doing it and getting to do it. Like I love playing with the band more often live, but this kind of stuff, like doing interviews and playing just stripped down with me and my guitar, is my favorite.
Well, and you kind of said talking about your lyrics, and I feel like not that the band is just takes away or anything, but it allows you to focus more on the vocal and the lyrics and stuff. So
more intimate.
comes
too.
across.
Like
yeah.
the story probably comes out a little
Sure.
bit more. Yeah, I can see
mean,
that.
But I love, shredding guitar solo on there and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice having all that stuff. But I feel like there's plenty of room for both. And like,
Take time out for the little things. Cry on out when you forced to change. Shake it off, darling, when you gotta move on. Bare your teeth and grin to strangers. Underneath it all, you can't speak or even savor the next moments in time till your questions are answered. But there's a light that will shine through. Oh, honey, I am here for you. Oh, my sister, you're a make-believer. You make everyone else feel a little better. But when the weight comes down and your heart has been poured in cement, oh, frozen in time, in a line-filled cage of regret, I'll take your hand, man, put pieces back together. Don't have to trade your light for the dark and stormy weather. I'm gonna get back going when you've been laying flat on the ground. It takes understanding and love to turn a heartache back around. You take time out for the little things. Cry on out when you're forced to change. Take your time, darling, when you gotta move on. Bury your teeth and grin to strangers. Underneath it all, you can't speak or even savor the next moments in time until your questions are answered. Oh, there's a light that will shine through. Oh, there's a light that will shine through. Oh, honey, I am here for you. Oh, there's a light that will shine through. Oh, there's a light that will shine through. Oh, honey, I am here for you.
Yeah, and with our band too, like what I love is that it's still like me playing guitar out front. Like my guitar playing doesn't get lost. Like even our lead guitar player is who we have now, Chris Lee. He's one of my boyfriend Danny's oldest friends too. Like we're all like family. But he's kind of doing I encourage him to do his own thing in his own style, but still like capturing some of that foundation of what we've built, which is laying back and like kind of, playing little notes around what I'm accentuating, to where it's never all too much at once. And when we are heavier, it's because it's full sounding and each person has their place. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be cool to hear kind of how that bringing him in will affect.
It's been great
going forward to the next record and stuff. Having what? Because I think that's the fun thing about a group is like just changing one member. Like it's
create creatively too. I think like he adds kind of every person's brain is different too, and like what they would think like notes to play, but in style wise, I think Chris even captures like more of a kind of can be versatile. Like I've seen him be a little more versatile with stuff too. Like I like experimenting live and playing something slightly different and trying new stuff out too. So it's been really fun. Yeah.
Again, join us live. Like I said, you got a big full band show here in St. Louis on May 8th at Broadway Oyster Bar. Be a great time to.
I'm excited to try to promote that as much as I can and get people there. Like I would really love for that to be a big show for us.
Yeah, I'd like
on a Thursday.
Yeah, I'd like to see that happen where you guys can bring the band to town a lot more often.
I know. Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I'm really happy about the festival and Pickin on this summer. I think that'll be really great. That's what I'm looking for. And we're, if I can mention, like we're still booking too. So I was like throwing that out there, like hit me up. I'm excited to keep booking more stuff. So yeah.
We got one more. We want to close it out with the title track, kind of bookend this, and this is closes out the record and titled High Feeling. What comes to mind when you think about High Feeling?
So still family, like kind of tribute to family. Like this record was also just kind of a tribute to them, but taking who I am, getting back to my own roots, what there is for me to say, whatever I've learned, how to put those lessons into words. Like this song sums a lot of that up, I think. I wrote this song in my living room just by myself. I had a hat, like it's a black Stetson hat that has like kind of the like Stevie Ray Vaughan style, like Texas, like the little metal oval pendants around the rim. But this one has revolvers on it all around the rim of it. And I was just sitting looking at the hat and just like, what I was able to adopt in material wise, being able to have that stuff was meaningful to me. But it was figuring out that I could have not gotten any of that stuff. And what I have to offer, is the music I was given and being able to, to me, High Feeling like takes that like legacy idea of perpetuating this like kind of legendary story or presence through music and songwriting, like being able to, to me, it's like carrying on my family legacy. And, the line, it's like, I'm going to have to do it my own way kind of thing is, I think this sound of this song is very outlaw country badass, but to me, it's kind of like taking it by the balls and being like telling myself, okay, this is what I got to do too, though. Like you got to hold up your half of it too, and finding some of that motivation. Be like, all right, this is me. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. It's the attitude I think it captures. But yeah.
I really enjoyed this record a whole lot. I liked all the little nuances. I liked I mentioned it how you can even hear like, that's the one, that's the take, and those kind of things. I liked hearing the circadian rhythm. Like
I want to mention that was Garrett's idea. It was the spacey element, the little jam band spacey element that was now like I brought my sound bowls into Garrett's basement. We like mic'd them and recorded them, so we have the like sound bowls. But it was around the time that the cicadas were still out, and one like I'm still amazed that this happened, like the timing of everything. And I think the theme of the song and a lot of the songs on the record and that timing when the cicadas came out, and we lived tucked back in the woods. They were loud. Like Garrett had drove around and just recorded them on his phone, I think. Like there's like frogs and bugs and cicadas. And we added that in with the sound bowls and made that the transitional, and we called it circadian rhythm. Instead of circadian rhythm.
It was kind of trippy.
It is
listening to while you're driving because I thought it was my car.
Yeah, well then you think they're back too, for a second.
Well, I was like, the sound
triggering
the sound bowls. I was like, is that my brakes? What's going on? And like, it's like, oh, this is fun.
And it even before we like mixed it all exactly how I wanted it, it got kind of intense too. We were like, maybe we should tone that down a little bit, but it was so cool, like just the meaning of that first song and getting like spacey and weird on like a spiritual tone. I thought it was cool.
I think about there's a moment we did. I don't know. It's one of my. I personally I think it's a cool moment for the pod, but several years ago we did one with Jackson Howard and Anthony Doria and Drew Lance. And we like kind of did this like jam session kind of thing on the back porch, and they did like a songwriter swap, and Drew kind of added a little bit of cajon to both of their songs. And as the night went on, like all the bugs started, chiming in. So on these particular, at the time I was recording with a single mic, Blue Yeti.
Sometimes you can get some cool sounds out of that.
Yeah, so I started getting all these bug sound effects, and Jackson has a song about called The Hideaway, and it was about going into the woods to like their little fort, kind of whatever, kind of meeting a girl out of his woods or whatever kind of thing at the Hideaway. And it's a beautiful story and a song, and it's all like
very CCR.
Yeah.
Well, they have a song called Hideaway, right. But still.
But hearing a song about like and then hearing the bugs, and then like when he went and recorded his record, they put bug stuff on there. But so hearing my hearing my acoustic version of it, like before the record was like, and then it became to life on the real record. Like I don't know, it was just like a proud moment for me, I guess, like how close I was able to capture it to what it became the record version of it. So
that's cool.
So anyway, it was just
and that's where it's like where it becomes fun, on the recording end of it. But to me, that capturing that moment in time with the cicadas, like it's fleeting. I think there's symbolism with that I thought was cool that tied into it, but in reality, I dug the cicadas and realized that like no one else did, like, and that I'm the only one who missed them. Now I get to listen to our own record and be like, "Hey, what's up, cicadas? How you doing?"
They are pretty fascinating.
Miss you.
Yeah, I just caught a piece of that, the Americas on NBC with Tom Hanks narrating all this photography and footage or whatever.
All right,
but there was a thing about the cicadas on there.
It's freaking wild, dude.
The fact that they're like dormant in the ground for 17 years and then they come out. Like,
it was like the whole spiritual undertone. It's like the whole rebirth and like phases of life, and that to me was like what aligned with the actual meaning of the songs and stuff. But it tripped me out. Like when you really learn about all of what was happening,
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. The actual creatures,
and just like the synchronicity and being around things lining up in life, in general, universe, whatever. But just to know that like all that time passed and you're just witnessing this in the moment, kind of like being in the moment is a lesson from it too, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm glad it's a part of this record. I'm glad all this came together so nicely. It's
we're really proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be talking with you and like out and promoting it, like doing what I can, doing the Lord's work.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we were able to make this happen. And big thanks again to Fat Buddha for letting us hang out today and visit them for your recording needs in St. Louis, Missouri here. And but yeah, get plugged in. Taylor Steele and the Love Preachers on your socials, and you got the record streaming wherever you get music at. You can head over to Bandcamp and download MP3s, and if you want to do that, and all kinds of ways to support the band. And we got some new shirts coming or anything for the summer or for these shows, or
no, we had gotten some new shirts recently, like some baseball tees. We got some old ones still we're going through, but we got our old CDs, stickers. We do have some temporary tattoos with our new album cover on it, which is super fun. Yeah. So come out and throw some dollars in the tip jar and support the band, and hopefully we'll get that vinyl record pressing here soon. But yeah, this has been a ton of fun. I'm glad we were able to do this, Taylor. And thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And I will see you very soon.
Yeah, I'll see you at the Bob, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
See ya.